All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here making another quick video to do the demo of how Autopilot version 8.0 works. Now they've increased the, I guess you could say they added the feature to where it will plan your trip based on your charge rate, where you're at right now, and the superchargers that are closest to your location that will give you the quickest trip home. And I think it did a pretty good job. So let's try it out. Navigate to Fresno. So you can see here it's plotting all the superchargers. That's what's popping up here. And it's going to give us the best route to get to Fresno. So that's pretty good. So looks like it gave us 2 stops, and we can maybe cut it to 1. So right now we're at 73 miles left. And if we spent 15 minutes in Dublin, then we could do another 25 minutes at Manteca. But I'm pretty sure if we do a little bit more time, maybe 20 minutes or so, 25 at Dublin, we can make it all the way to Fresno. So we'll check back in. I think this is maybe just saying options. So I think I could either go to Dublin or go to Manteca. Yeah, that's probably it. So either way, it's going to leave us with getting into Fresno at 14%. So I think we'll go ahead and try to push to, we'll do Dublin, and we'll check back in and see how it looks. So stay tuned on Autopilot software version 8.0. We'll be back in a second.
Oh no!
So the supercharger that it directed us to
Ow!
is a store. It's a Tesla, like a dealership. Oh, we're doing all right now.
Why?
We just gotta take a couple minutes. Only 50. It might be closed. We gonna enjoy this. Let's see if we can find out where the supercharger is. We'll be back. Ooh, there they are. They're over there, babe.
Yeah, you gotta turn around.
Ooh, you gotta turn around. Might as well look around, see what's out here.
Well, as soon as you turn around,
I mean, let's see.
take out your Tesla umbrella because it's raining and shit here.
Don't hate.
Sorry, and stuff.
Don't hate.
I'm not hating. I'm just saying. It's raining. It's raining right now.
Can we get around this way?
Proceed to the highlighted route.
Might be able to. This is nice.
Tesla, we gotta talk. You can't direct us to a supercharger at the Tesla
It's
factory.
a store. Look at all these Model X's sitting
I'm
on
gonna
here.
look though, 'cause I think I might have to creep up.
Ooh, wee. That's crispy. It still got the wrapper on it.
And it ain't even been opened up yet.
About to go
It's
shopping.
like,
What you heard? All right, we're gonna plug in, and we'll be right back. We're gonna show you the second step of what Autopilot version 8.0 looks like. Looks like we might even have a wait, so we'll be back in a second.
Look, it's supposed to be a long line.
All right, so we're checking back in. Looks like Autopilot software is working pretty good. It said we would get here with about 14%. We're pretty close to low, but
Oh, God.
we're good.
It's about to be
Yeah, we gotta. I'm glad. So this guy here, he jumped in a line.
He works here though. I think like
I'm glad that he had to get out the way. You can't move the cone and then go plug in and then be mad.
Back.
He should move the cone back. Okay, but anyway, we got off track. But yeah, so you see we only have 1 stop to make. Should only be here about 15 minutes. We could have made it to Manteca, but instead we'll just stop here. Says we have 15 minutes, and then we'll be in Fresno with about 14% left. So the software is pretty good. We just have to get in a spot. So this is the first time I've actually been in a location and it's been full. We got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
We're number 2.
7 cars here waiting, and we're number 2 in line. But it's all right. You know, maybe we'll go look around in a minute and see what else is here. So we'll check back in a minute once we get hooked up, and I'll let y'all know how it goes. See you in a minute.
How you do that? What did you do that?
All
It really baffles me. Sorry.
We've been here 30 minutes, and we're good now. We got 193 miles. We pulled in with about 30. So about 160 miles charge in 30 minutes. And we're good. We really don't even have to stop in Manteca, but
we're not.
we'll get to Fresno with about 14%, pull in the garage, and hook her up. So Autopilot software version 8.0 is pretty good. We're getting on the road. We'll see you all in a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just to try to close out the first road trip with the Tesla 8.0 software, the trip management software is actually very good. It was pretty much spot on for where I would be when I got home. If you remember the last clip, it was showing that I would get back to Fresno with about, I think it said 14%. That was with the stop in Manteca. It actually wanted me to stop there for 5 minutes just so I would have enough of a buffer. I skipped that stop and just pushed straight through to Fresno. So rather than getting to Fresno with 14%, I got to Fresno with about 8%. I had about 10 miles left on my battery. It's red. I don't think I've ever had it that low. But from where I was, I knew I could make. I said if the battery gauge is accurate, which it looks like it was, I knew I was going to be pulling into my garage just about on empty, but I would be at my garage and I could charge up. Worst case, I would have passed the Herndon supercharger in Fresno, and I could have sat there for like 2 minutes and, probably gained more than enough to just get home. But I said I was going to push it just to see, one, if the battery gauge was accurate, and then two, to see if the software was accurate. And as it turns out, they both are. So I think that's a very good feature. So again, if anybody's out there and they're wondering about one of the benefits of the software, what you can do is you can tell the car to navigate to wherever you're going, and it will plot the superchargers that are along the way and how long you'll have to stay at the supercharger, and then add that time to your trip and let you know exactly how long it'll take you for your total trip, which is a benefit because I don't think that was available in the first version of the software. I think you just had to kind of, guess where how much time it would take, or maybe some folks would use the EV Tracker website, which was pretty good. But now they've incorporated it right into the car, and I think that's a great feature. And it also plans on the quickest way to go. And I think if you look back, if you rewind it a little bit, it had me stopping at Dublin for 10 minutes. I think it said 15 minutes to get a big jump. I'm almost certain, and I can't say for sure or not, but if it knew when I set that trip that was a busy supercharger, I think it figured that in, because I can't really understand why I would say stop at one supercharger and then stop at another one, but then when we got there, it was full. There were 8 stalls, 7 were full, 1 was empty, and there was 1 person waiting. So maybe somewhere in that software, it actually knew that supercharger was busy, and it says, hey, don't just sit on it with people waiting. Get your 15 minutes and keep pushing on, because you can stop at Manteca, which is almost always empty, and keep your trip going, whether it's 15 minutes and then another 10 at another spot, or skip the Dublin one, and maybe I'll get a faster rate if I went to Manteca. Because now remember, if you're a little bit of supercharger etiquette and supercharger wisdom, so each pair of 2 stalls is connected to 1 bank of electrical supply, and I don't know the technical term, but if you're the only one on the one bank, then you get the max charge. If there's 2 cars sharing one bank, then your rate drops. Not a lot, but example, you could maybe go from 30 minutes getting 150 miles to maybe that 30 minutes only gets you 100. And I don't know the exact amount, but I've read from different areas that, you know, you always want to try to skip a stall between superchargers unless you absolutely have to go, because if you go to one that someone is already on, you're going to slow them down. So naturally, because the whole supercharger area was full at the Dublin store, I'm sure everybody was pulling everyone's charge rate down. So, but because it was a store, we ended up going in and looked around, and you know, I got the message that said, you know, you have enough for your trip, and I was almost full when I got out. But that was 25-30 minutes, you know, give or take, and I very easily could have done 15 and 15. So anyway, long story short, the sun is bright. The software works, and it does what it's supposed to do, and it does it very good. I'm actually looking forward to trying to plot out a few more road trips just to see, you know, how many superchargers I can hit. You know, I do want to try to get up to Vancouver. I think they've got superchargers all along the West Coast Super Highway or the West Coast Electric Highway, whatever it is. So I want to try it, see how far I can go on a, you know, supercharger. Maybe take a weekend and just drive, see how far I can go, and then drive back. So that's just a quick blurb. The navigation software, spot on. Autopilot, it probably drove at least, I'm going to say about 90% of the time, probably 95%. There were just a few instances that I actually had to take the wheel, and it wasn't like Autopilot did something wrong where I had to intervene. It was just, you know, hey, my wife is kind of in my ear, let me just make her comfortable and I'll drive the car. You know, some heavy traffic areas, some sharp turns that came up. I did catch it one time where I just assumed it was going to veer off a little bit because in a curve, the road markings were washed out. It was like new asphalt, so there's a section in a curve, and it just went from 2 lines to no lines. And I was like, okay, well, I see it coming, so let me just grab it. And it told me to grab it, and I got it for about 2 seconds. And it kicked back in, there's no problem. So again, the software is perfect. I'll try to make a few more videos, but let me know what you all think. If you have any other questions or anything you want me to cover, from, you know, ownership to car dynamics, you know, anything that I can cover, let me know and I'll try to get to it as best I can. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Leave your comments, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you the next time. Peace.